shit. Oh, that looks good. We have to fix that. We gotta. Eureka. Every time I go to contour my nose, I feel like I look like a Care Bear. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that wasn't really... There we go. You know what? I've done better. I've done worse. But I've done better. But we're starting this year on a positivity note. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are in it to win it. You know? Yeah, we are. Good morning. Happy New Year. Just wait for some of you to come in. Isn't that what people say on lives? Let's just wait for a few more of you. Tap the glass like you're tapping ass. We'll do that since Ashley's not on. How about that? You know, get those likes up. I'm at 0. I'm at 0 likes. God damn. 24 of you and nobody's like, hey, love ya. Oh, thank you for the roses. I appreciate that, Kez and family. Thank you. Oh, there's the likes. We woke up, huh? We realized, oh shit, we're in somebody's live stream. We should probably do that. I don't make the rules, guys. I don't make the rules. Look, slept on my hair, you know. Got to fix that because we're not washing the hair till at least the 3rd. You know? See if we can make it to the 4th. Anyway, how you guys? Who's hungover? Not me. I know we started that live, the last one, but I had to take a phone call. I was waiting for it. You know, that's how it happens. I was waiting all morning for this phone call, and then it wasn't coming, so I was like, well, I got to go live really quick. You know what I mean? But anyway, I am so glad. Thank you for the love, you guys. Yeah, I am so happy. That was one of the first things I thought about when I took my dogs out to the bathroom this morning is I was like, dude, I'm not hungover today. Even though this is like my 4th New Year's where I wasn't hungover. No, my 3rd. My 3rd New Year's that I'm not hungover. I'm still like, oh. You know what I mean? It's still like new to me. I love that. I do. I love that it hasn't like worn off. You know what I mean? But yeah, I woke up and I was just like, dude, there's so many people out there that are like hungover today. Are going to be feeling like shit. All of their bad decisions. I wonder how many of them are going to wake up in jail and like, wow, the fuck did I get here? I've been there. Not on New Year's. Not on New Year's. You know what I mean? But, yeah. Whenever you want to, you know, learn of a better way, let me know. I'm here. You know what I mean? I'll help you guys out. Hey, so, yeah, hugging the porcelain throne. You know what is really weird is that when I was hungover, I didn't puke the next day. If I puked at all, it was that night while I was still intoxicated. But the next day, I didn't puke. I just was sick and slept and wanted to eat everything. But then when you ate something, it made you more sick. And some reason you think that greasy food helps, but it really doesn't. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much. And then the headache, you know, and you're just sitting there on your first day of the new year, sick. Like, what a way to start. You know what I mean? What a way to start. Happy New Year. So I don't know if any of you guys have been over on Facebook, but I did some really big changes over there. So if you haven't, head on over there. I just launched 2 new channels. I'm about to go and make them on my YouTube account as well. But to start the launch, I did it over on Facebook first. There's no reason really for me to do it here. For now, here and Instagram, I'm going to keep the same, you know, just this one page. If we need to evolve later down the road, we definitely can. But yeah, so we've got Saga Chronicles. I always want to say Sonic. It's still new. Give me a chance, you know what I mean? But anyway, so I've got Saga Chronicles. So the Saga Chronicles are going to be where I update like all of my live streams. Some of them will be edited. Some will just be like pure, unedited, fun bullshit. So that's there. And then I also have my Saga Continues. And that's like a new page. And that one is where I'm going to continue to do like the thirst traps, the research. I have got to jump ship on that 1.7 million. I have to. It is going down with the North Sea and, not in the kind of way where you want to watch. I don't want to watch anymore. I really don't. So, I mean, I'm not like closing that page down. That page is still going to be there. And right now, that's the only page that I'm making any money on anyway, but it's not enough. It's not enough. And so the other two pages, they are ready to monetize. I just have to get the watch hours up, which shouldn't take me that long. Not on that app. I say that, but fingers crossed. You know what I mean? Hopefully, by the end of the month, I should be eligible to start making something. It won't be a lot at first, but you got to start, you know what I mean? But anyway, so I'm going to, I have that going on right now. The Single Mom Saga page will still be there, like I said. Oh, well, thank you, Ashley. What are you doing right now? What are you doing? You want to come in a minute after I talk about this? Let's do it. But yeah, so we're going to do that. You checked it out? Good. Well, we've got some people who are like, you see them on my page, right? Like, oh, what happened to the thirst traps? Well, it's like, dude, I just posted one 2 days ago. Like, but you come on one where I'm talking about recovery, you know what I mean? And then whatever. So I'm like, since I'm having all these issues over on that page anyway, I'm just going to make sub channels. And you want to know what? I was thinking about doing it, and then I talked to my 16-year-old, and he was like, actually, Mom, that's a good idea, because there's a lot of people that I watch on my, like on YouTube, and he was like, yeah. He's like, there's tons of people who do that, and they have sub-channels for, like, their live streams or for their videos on demand, and he's like, I follow all of them. And I was like, done. You know what I mean? Done. And so, yeah, I just, I made the videos, I made the collages, and I launched it. So far, so good. Fingers crossed. One thing I'm definitely not going to do is talk about that kind of stuff over there. So I'm not going to say anything about like, oh, because this page sucks and Facebook won't give me this. I'll do it over here. I'm not doing it over there. You know what I mean? I'm not, we're just launching the 2 pages, and then I'm going to upload and launch the new pages on YouTube and start building that up, because when Ashley and I start the podcast, you know what I mean? It'll be good to already have followers that are on there, so we can just start uploading our podcasts, after we download them, and we'll upload them to Spotify and things like that. So, but yeah, I just have to, it's time to evolve. It's a happy new year, time to evolve and time to put like the different topics in different channels. So we're going to be doing that for sure. Thank you so much, Ashley. I didn't see your response, so I'm going to go back up and see if you said it. Okay, sitting here, sure. I don't know. Yesterday, Ashley and I were both feeling a little off. I'm definitely not going to be on for like ever. You know what I mean? But I did want to talk about like... yeah, any time is good to evolve though. Don't wait. Like I just picked the new year because like I need to revamp my pages. But I know a lot of people right now struggling with recovery, might wake up today and realize I relapsed, or I'm tired of living this way. I've been drinking too much. I did too many drugs last night, whatever the case is. And then they're like, well, it's a new year. Today's the 1st. I missed it. You know what? I'll go ahead and I'll do it on Valentine's Day. Like people do that because for addicts, we don't need an excuse. We'll find one. You know what I mean? We'll find one. We'll find any excuse. We'll find any excuse to use. You know what I mean? So I know what you meant, Melanie. I was just making sure still trying to, tune in with my addict behaviors and things like that. I want to make sure that the people that are out there know, like, we see you. You just because you relapsed last night or even today, you're hungover, you still have alcohol and drugs in your system. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you can pick today. Today can be the day. Tomorrow can be the day. But today can too. You know what I mean? You don't have to wait till the next holiday or a week from now, or let me just get through this day. Let me just get through this week. You know what? Let me just hit my dealer up one more time. I don't want to be sick and have the shakes. All you have to do is call down at your local ER. If you need help with detoxing, let them know that, you need to be checked in to help you with detoxing. And as long as they have a bed available for you, they'll do it. Or you can go straight into the ER room. And they'll hold you until a bed comes available. It's a little bit more expensive, so you'll want to check your insurance and stuff like that too. But at the end of the day, would you rather be working out a bill with financial assistance at the hospital, or do you want to take your chances and use again? You know what I mean? You have options. I got a new vapey, so here we are. Yeah, but you're not smoking cigarettes anymore. I know for me, Ashley, I had to quit cold turkey. It was hard. But the way that my brain worked too, and I quit a year ago in December. I quit cigarettes. I didn't really like vaping. If it was there and I didn't have any cigarettes, sure, I'd use somebody's, but I didn't really like it. But cigarettes I thoroughly enjoyed, which are disgusting. But anyway, so how I quit this last time, because I've quit a few times, is cold turkey. And every single time that I've had to quit, cold turkey was the way I quit. Trying to like taper off, or this is the last pack, or I'm only going to let myself have 2 cigarettes. Okay, maybe 3 a day. Okay, maybe 4. You know what I mean? Oh, some big event happened. I couldn't possibly not smoke now. You know what I mean? There's always an excuse. And so instead I just said, that's it. It's today. I'm not smoking anymore. That's it. And it seems like every time I quit smoking, I had like almost a full pack of cigarettes. And then I would do the whole thing where I would hold on to them just in case I changed my mind, because, cigarettes are a lot of money. So I'll hold on to it just in case I change my mind. And then 2 days in, I realize I'm going to smoke these fuckers. You know what I mean? And so like in a fit of glory, I break them all up and, throw them in the garbage and take it out. That is like the only way that I've ever been able to quit. So yep, Dawn, exactly. That's the only way I've ever been able to quit too, is I just had to throw them away and say, okay, today's the day. For me, I'm like, I think what went through my mind is when I found out I was pregnant, of course, like the day I find out, when I was pregnant with Cruz, I was smoking. When I was pregnant with Maddox, I was not. And when I was pregnant with my child that I lost, I was smoking. And so from the day I found out that I was pregnant, like I gave those cigarettes away. That didn't seem to be a problem at that point. I don't remember, like, I'm sure I was irritated, but isn't every pregnant woman in her first trimester? You know what I mean? But I don't remember having like nicotine fits or anything like that. I think it's part like how much are you smoking at the time and why are you quitting? You know what I mean? It was really easy. Happy New Year! It was really easy for me to quit when I was pregnant because it's for my baby. So, damn it, we're quitting for me this time. You know what I'm saying? So they were hypnotized. That's awesome too. Michelle, I think that a lot of that is also, it is in the mindset, Mama T. It is. But I want you to remember though that nicotine is like addictive, right? So even if your mindset is there, sometimes the cravings will still come and you'll have nicotine withdrawals and you get the shakes and you get irritated and, overstimulated by any noise, any minor inconvenience that happens. You know what I mean? But yeah, so, hold on. But as far as like hypnotized and stuff like that, for me, when I did EMDR therapy, like that kind of like catapulted me into my recovery as well. I had already been, like white knuckling my sobriety. You know what I mean? But I was in therapy. I had started therapy, and the longer that I did EMDR therapy, the easier it was for me as well, because yeah, it does change your mindset, and it's kind of like hypnotizing, but not. You're not hypnotized. It's not like anybody has control over you, but it is kind of going into a state of like meditation almost, which is hard for some people. Like, I can't meditate. I find it boring, and it makes me more upset to sit there. And having ADHD, my mind wanders, you know? So meditating is really hard for me. But what's nice with EMDR is that the whole thing it's geared around just letting your mind go. It gets to do what it wants, you know what I mean? So it's great. It's fantastic. But yeah. So yeah, if you haven't been over to my Facebook, get on over there. Today I'm going to go and make my channels on Facebook and get those going. Or I mean YouTube and get those going. So get over to Facebook and you know, go follow the new sub channels. It's going to be fun. Melanie, how long have you been doing EMDR? Do you like it? Yeah, well, if we have ADHD, of course we're hyper. I can't sit still to meditate. It drives me absolutely insane. Because you have to hold still, because the tiniest movement can, like, you know, pull me out of the meditation. So I have a hard time, you know what I mean? That's good, Melanie. That's good. I I absolutely love mine. And I actually got a email from my therapist this last week. He is thinking about starting a support group for a lot of his patients who have successfully completed EMDR therapy and who are living like healthier lifestyles, just to kind of give us like that support of other people with healthy mindsets. Because one thing I will tell you that I have noticed, you know, reflecting upon this last year, because this last year I was done. I finished EMDR therapy in February of 2023. And so just kind of reflecting back, what I realized is that I have, it's really easy to like, for me anyway, to absorb other people's negative energy. And, you know, that's kind of what I went to therapy for. Not kind of, but part of it was to learn how to have like a better outlook and being more positive in my interactions with people, whether it's in person or, you know, for work, you know, on my pages, all of those things. So, yeah, it is hard when you're an empath. EMDR is a type of therapy. It mimics like REM sleep, so it helps you reprocess or process trauma that you you know, have not processed, or things that have happened to you in your past, like people with PTSD, not just from war, but I had diagnosed with PTSD from my childhood trauma, also trauma that, you know, happened as an adult that I had a part in, and things like that. So for me, I went to EMDR therapy. It helped me retrain my brain and to change my core beliefs of myself and to learn my own self-worth. So, well, it's Tiff. If you know, one thing I definitely want to go on record, like I always do when we talk about these things, is that I am not a professional. I can just tell you about my experience and what worked for me, and not one size fits all, right? But if you have trauma and you're looking for something to, you know, change your core beliefs, learn self-worth, you know, improve your self-esteem and be able to set healthier boundaries, EMDR, I would recommend at least looking into it. You know, and you can try it out, see if it worked for you. Also, keep in mind that one therapist does not fit all either, right? So you might be interested in what EMDR therapy has to offer, but your first, you know, meeting with the therapist, maybe you aren't a good fit with that therapist. It's okay to go look for another one, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Well, thank you, Melanie. Happy New Year, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Anne. You had to get a second opinion. See, yep. So I got lucky, I think, in that case, because my therapist, Thomas, him and I liked the way he did it. He was very, he was very thorough, but also very simple. It was a very simple process. I was a little nervous when I looked into EMDR therapy because it seemed like there was a lot of steps and there was a lot of things to do. And being that I, at the time, was dealing with severe depression and anxiety, around the trauma that I had, endured in my life, that was really overwhelming for me. But when I went in and, talked to him, the first session that we had was, sitting down, talking about what I wanted out of therapy, why I was there seeing him, and then what he did is he gauged to make sure that, like, based on what I told him, that was something that he could possibly offer me if I put in the work. And so I really liked that first, where it wasn't like, okay, let's go, let's get started. The first initial was like, are we a good fit for each other? Based on what you tell me, will I be able to, help you and guide you to get those things? So it was fantastic. I absolutely loved that. You know what I mean? EMDR can be as complex or as simple as the patient needs it to be, as long as you have a therapist who will also recognize that. I also would not recommend going to a therapist who has not had training in EMDR therapy. It's not a new type of therapy, but it is new as far as it becoming more mainstream, and more people are looking into it and doing it. And so definitely, if you're going to look into EMDR therapy, I would recommend that you do it, like, find somebody who is trained in it, or somebody who that is their specialty. You know what I mean? My therapist specialized in family therapy and EMDR. So those were his two. So, marriage counseling, family therapy, and EMDR. So it was, he also was really great at being able to do that. So, but what was awesome is that because my brain, it's not that I can't handle complex, it's just that my trauma was already so complex, that trying to follow all these different steps and all these different rules was so overwhelming for me with EMDR. And the way that my therapist did it was fantastic. And so, there are different ways that you can do it. So if you hear me talk about mine and you're like, what? That's not what I'm doing. It's totally fine. Because at the end, it's all kind of the same rapid eye movement simulations. You can do it with audio, so you can wear, headphones, and it can go back and forth. It can be visual. It can actually be a sound in the office. So it can be lots of different, ways to get your eye movement, you know what I mean, to mimic REM. So for me, he had a tablet and he had a ball that went back and forth. And we tried one that had a click. That was too much for me. This really happens. So the reason why I'm saying these things is, don't feel overwhelmed, or if you go in and it's overwhelming for you, don't be afraid to tell your therapist, because there are different methods that they can use. So when I was doing the visual one and he added the audio to it, that was too much for me. I couldn't do all of it. I couldn't focus on anything but the noise click. And so my brain wouldn't go anywhere, because in my head, I'm like, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? So as soon as I told him that, he's like, all right, great. I have this other one. He pulled up a different app that didn't have, any of the noise. And I was able to do that. And then as I progressed, I was able to do sessions with myself at home. And what I have found doing sessions at home, it's easier for me to wear headphones and to close my eyes and do, I visualize the sound that, there's 8D sound that you can get on different apps. And I just visualize the sound going back and forth. That's better for me when it's just me. But yeah, if I'm in his office, or if I'm doing a Zoom meeting with him, it's easier for me to do the visual. So, you know what I mean? It just kind of depends. But also, and that's another thing, if people are like, I don't have the time, they're not close to me. My therapist actually does them over Zoom. I don't know if it's the Zoom app, but you know what I mean. So anyway, he did it that way. And I had a friend who actually was living in the Dominican at the time, and she did her sessions with him, from the Dominican. So, you can find, like, if you don't have a good one in your area, or you can't find someone in your area, if you're more rural or things like that, you can always search, other therapists that actually do them online as well. So, there are plenty of options for people out there if it's something that you really want to do. If it's something like, 2024, I really want to, move my mental health into the right directions, even if you don't choose EMDR, there are plenty of therapists that can help you with that. Don't make excuses for yourself. Find solutions. Find solutions. There's plenty of therapists who will see you online. So make sure you guys do that this year if that's something that you're interested in. Going to therapy or admitting sometimes for people that they need therapy can be really hard. But the way that I talk to people about that is your life hard right now? Going to therapy isn't going to... Hi, Zaddy! Going to therapy isn't going to make it any harder. You know what I mean? If you end up going to therapy and you realize, like, this wasn't for me, great. You're back to square one. It didn't make it worse. You might get a referral to a different fit. You know what I mean? Or being that you're talking to friends, family, whatever, about, hey, I was thinking about maybe looking into some sort of like therapy, just talking about those things out loud. Sometimes close family, friends, whatever, will recommend a therapist like, oh, this person really helped me, or this person really helped my sister. You know what I mean? So take those first steps and do that. You do have to make time for yourself. And I think that's the biggest thing I know that has helped me with my recovery, is recognizing that I have to put myself first. Kind of like if you've been in here, recently with me and Ashley, where Ashley's been talking about, like, sometimes, especially at the beginning of recovery, you have to be selfish. You have to be selfish. And people might view it as you being selfish. You know what I mean? That's a word a lot of people like to use. I like to say I'm not being selfish. The only way that I can help other people is to help myself first. Everybody's heard the term of, your cup has to be full first, right? If you don't have a full cup, you can't pour into anybody else because you don't have anything to pour. You got to pour into your own cup first. So it's not about being selfish. It's about making sure, like, do you want to show up? Like, I hear people's excuse, like, I can't do it. I have to be there for my kids. I can't do this. I have my job. I can't do this. I have, all these different things. And I'm like, okay, but you're not going to have any of those things if you don't stop, take time for yourself, and pour into your own cup. If you don't have enough in your cup to pour into other people, it's only a matter of time before you can't show up for anyone. You're not going to show up for yourself. You're not going to show up for your kids. That job that you keep using as an excuse, your mom that's sick, your dad, your uncle, your aunt, your neighbor, your dogs, whatever excuse you have as to why you can't put into yourself, you will no longer have anything to put into them either. Factual facts. I think she might be listening this time. It's usually only on the phone. She's like, facts. I'm like, you're not fucking listening to me right now, damn it. But yeah, so start off this new year, you know what I mean? On a high note. On a high note. And, the stuff that I talk about here on these live streams, they'll all be uploaded onto my new channel, the Saga Chronicles, over on Facebook. I already uploaded, one highlights when we did the podcast with Nick Larson, and then my favorite recent clip with Ashley about when I shitted my pants. You know what I'm saying? You paused your show for this, talking about that. Ashley, I started Reacher. Is it going to get better? I'm a little bored. I'm in the first episode because I finished The Last of Us. I finished that season. So I was like, maybe I'll go over and try Reacher since Ashley's watching it. And I'm over there, and I don't hate it, but I don't love it. So I'm just wondering, like, but he is hot. He's a little bigger. I might get, like, squished. You know what I'm saying? We all have fantasies. Don't judge me. But I'm like, he's a big dude. That is a big dude. And I'm small. I'm 5'3". I seem to fancy big guys, but that's like John Cena big. You know what I'm saying? He's like big, big. Like that's the kind of big where it's like I might die. You're on episode 5. Like I feel like I'd have to do all the work. This is where my brain goes to. No. Squish, exactly. I squish away. You want them to? I'm really thinking like actual squish, like painful. You know, like I'd have to be on top. I'd have to do all the work. That's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I couldn't be on bottom. I couldn't be bottom in that relationship. I don't think that would work out for me. But anyway, this is how my brain works. Unapologetically me. So there you go. If you're new, welcome. Welcome. Happy freaking New Year. So you're on episode 5. It gets better. Like, what is it? By the second? If I just, because sometimes when it is a slow start, you got to really push yourself to like watch the first 2 episodes. You know what I'm saying? You can't like zone out on any of it. You really have to make sure you're watching all of it. Is it like that? What episode will I get to? Which one? I'm not going to watch it downstairs in the basement in his swing. I'm not going to do that. Oh, you mean with him?